Hi guys, what's going on? I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for coming back to the channel. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you're enjoying some of the content that I'm making. I am new at this, so give me a chance. I will get better at it. But what I wanted to go into today was the Champions League. So obviously we are into the round of 16 phase now, and we all know what that means basically. So we've gone through the whole group stage where there's a lot of uncertainty and you don't really know what's happening. We've had the playoff, which is brand new. I actually thought went quite well. So yeah, we're into the round 16 now. So I wanted to have a quick preview of what games we've got going on, what I think might happen in the first legs, and then I'll do the same next week for the second legs, I think. So yeah, I should probably caveat this video and my whole channel really with the fact that I'm not a statistician, you know. I'm not like Statman Dave. I like my stats, but I won't be pulling stats out of thin air like I know like my hand, you know. I'm very much someone who likes the eye test, you know. I like watching teams, I like watching certain players, and I might use stats to back up a point, but I won't be delving too much into stats, especially in this video, you know. I'm not going to pretend like I've watched every single team's games. I haven't watched PSV week in, week out, but I've got a rough idea of how they play, some of their key players, and you know what I mean, like a rough idea of how ties might go, in my opinion, you know. So first, we'll start with Arsenal, you know. I'll get it out of the way. So obviously Arsenal have got PSV, and I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit apprehensive about the fixture. On paper it seems like an easy fixture, but then I realised that both legs have got to be played this week and next week, and that gives me a bit of anxiety in terms of the squad that we have available for it. Obviously I know Arsenal fans keep getting the injuries thrown at them, but it is a genuine thing in this instance. We don't have a striker, we don't have forwards, so to get past PSV is actually going to be difficult, you know. If it was a normal season and we had Saka fit and Martinelli and Havertz and Odegaard was firing, I would have had no concerns about this game. But I'm a bit worried about it. And it worries me more so that everyone thinks it's a walk in the park. So I don't want us to take our eye off the ball at all. But yeah, it does concern me a bit. I think we need Wanyeri to really have a good game for us over these two legs, and that's a lot of pressure on a 19-year-old. So I think first leg, I think if we can get out there with a draw, it's a very good draw for us, you know. My prediction for the first leg is for us to draw 1-1. Actually, I think we will concede, but I think we'll still keep it very tight and we'll nick a goal from somewhere. I don't know, I couldn't tell you where. Potentially a set piece, like we always seem to get a goal from. Maybe Nwanyeri's piece of brilliance, maybe Odegaard shows up out of nowhere, you know. But I think we will nick a goal. I think we'll keep it very tight at the back like we have been lately, and I can just see us squeezing a 1-1 out of that. And then hopefully in the second leg we can have a bit more freedom at home. Maybe we'll have Martinelli back, potentially. I've seen that he might be training. So hopefully we have to get past PSV. I know that's quite a negative prediction really. But if I didn't have to watch the Arsenal game as an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be watching this game tonight. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't see it being an entertaining game. Next, we've got a very feisty game in Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. So this is actually a very odd game, a tricky game to call, I think. Normally, I think you just look at Real Madrid and go, yeah, they're gonna batter them. Well, they're not gonna batter them, but they're gonna win. But I don't know if they will. I Atletico are flying in the league. They're actually above Madrid in the league, and they're in really good form. Me and some of my mates went over to watch the Atletico against Bayer Leverkusen game at the Metropolitano, I think it's called, and the atmosphere they make in that stadium is outrageous. Obviously, I haven't been to the Bernabeu, so I can't speak for that. But it did shock me as well how Atletico Madrid played. Because obviously, everyone assumes that they're a very negative side and they don't really attack that much. But when I watched them play, they were flying forwards and high pressing, and Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen could not handle it. It was very surprising. With 10 men they were pressing, like, it was impressive to watch. I think first leg, Real Madrid got home advantage for the first leg. I think they're going to have to go for it because they know when they go away, it's going to be tricky to try and get a win there. So I think first leg, maybe 2-1 Real Madrid. I think Mbappe will have a goal in the game somewhere. But I think Atletico they'll get something from this first leg in terms of a goal or something, because they are really good going forwards. They're excited now with Julian Alvarez up there. Griezmann's still doing his thing. So I think they will get a goal. I think if it's not 2-1, it ends up being a draw. I think Atletico have a potential to go through here, and I don't think it's that far-fetched to say they will go through. I think it's the best chance they've had against Real Madrid in a long time. Obviously, we remember the finals, so this could be their chance to get some revenge. I think that's one of potentially 2 shocks in this round that I've looked at and gone, there's a potential shock on the cards there. So I think Atletico, yeah, I think they could go through. I'm still going to edge to Real Madrid just because of their superstar factor. You know, they've got Mbappe, they've got Vinicius, they've got Bellingham. So I think so far I'm going for Arsenal and Real Madrid to go through. Then we'll move on to Aston Villa against Club Brugge, which actually kicks off in about an hour, so it gets out quick. I think you can't really look past Aston Villa here, can you? I think if Villa went out to Club Brugge, it would be a massive missed opportunity for Villa. Obviously, they haven't got the experience of other teams in the competition, which does count for a factor. I can tell you as an Arsenal fan, it definitely makes a factor. Players play different in the Champions League than they do in the Premier League. But I think with the manager they have in Unai Emery, he will be the difference in terms of getting them over the line here. I think the first leg, I think it'll be sent to Arsenal, will be very cagey. With Villa away at Club Brugge, you think you can expect a typical European performance. I think Villa will sit, counter, hold, and then maybe nick a goal. I think it's very similar to the last leg. I think we'll finish 1-1 in the first leg. Villa's defence can be a bit leaky, so I don't know if they're going to be completely secure at the back. Bruges have actually had some decent results in the Champions League so far, and they look quite good against City when I've seen them play. So they're not going to be a pushover. And send the story to Arsenal and for Villa. They get through the first leg, get out there with a draw. They could win the game as well. Don't get me wrong. I think they have the capabilities to do it, and the squad. Yeah, I think Villa definitely go through there though. And then we move on to Dortmund against Lille. It's quite a fun game, this one. I think there's potentially a lot of goals in this game. Dortmund have been a bit out of form in the league. You know, they sit mid-table in the Bundesliga, but I see goals. I think obviously you've had Lille absolutely battering. I can't remember who it was in the last game, but it ended up being like 6 or 7-1 in the end, I'm pretty sure. So I think there's definitely going to be some goals in the game tonight. I'm going for a 3-1 Dortmund win tonight. Maybe I'm being clouded by historic results for Dortmund in the Champions League, but they do feel like a Champions League team to me, you know. There's just certain teams in the Champions League just turn it on. So I think I don't know if they'll get through, but I think they'll beat Lille tonight. And then I'm not sure on the return leg, I'm not going to lie. I think Lille have definitely got the potential to get through in that. I think they've got goals in the team with Jonathan David. So I'm going to stick with a Dortmund win tonight, but I don't know who goes through. I think that's a flip of a coin. And then tomorrow night's games, we're looking at obviously PSG against Liverpool is arguably the standout draw of the round, and it's going to be a very interesting game. PSG have been flying in the Champions League and in the league. They're scoring goals for fun. Ousmane Dembele looks like the player he was meant to be at Barcelona now. So maybe he's come of age now, but you've got Bradley Barcola who's flying up down that left wing. Obviously got Kvaratskhelia there now as well. So PSG are looking really strong. The midfield as well with Vitinha in, João Neves. Like, they're going to be a threat. I think it's quite surprising that obviously they've lost all the superstars and all of a sudden they're more of a threat for the Champions League than they were before in some ways. So I think the first leg's at PSG, and I can see there being some goals in this tie as well. I think we might get treated to a Champions League special maybe in both legs. I think Anfield could be a real deal breaker in that second leg. I think second leg potentially Liverpool could run away with the tie. Obviously we know PSG can get goals, but they're always going to be leaky at the back with that. I just feel like in the Champions League, maybe that's just me having a caveat from previous experiences with PSG, but when we played against them in the group stages, they didn't look that impressive. But maybe that's because we were flying at that point in the season as well. But I think Liverpool can just control PSG a bit better. So I can see Liverpool comfortably winning the home leg. I think the away leg, I think it could end up in like a 2-2 draw maybe. I think Liverpool have just got to go there and play their football basically. I don't see them getting out footballed by PSG, but at the same time I don't see them being comfortable in the game. I think maybe it could be like 2-2, 3-2, you know. I think it'll be a high scoring fixture though, because PSG are going to want it to be like a fast paced game. I think Liverpool might try to slow it down a bit. They might try to just keep control of the game a bit more managed. And then I think the Anfield game is where the emotion will take over. It'll be like an Anfield night. So I think Liverpool go through there. And then we're moving on to Benfica against Barcelona. Now, obviously we all know what happened in the group stage. Benfica 5-4, they lost to Barcelona. Very controversial last minute goal. From Rafinha. Benfica should have had a penalty at the other end of the pitch before that, which I think everyone saw. So I think it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be very open again. I can't see this being a low scoring tie. I think Benfica at home for the first leg. I think you're going to see a very similar game. You know, I think Barcelona aren't going to sit in. They're not going to try and control the game like a Liverpool. They're not going to slow it down. They're going to press high, have the high line, and I think the potential shock for me is this game. I would be surprised there's not many goals, but I think Benfica, there's just something about that fixture for me where I look at it and go, potentially they could do something in that game, you know? I think maybe a bit of revenge from the group stages. Maybe that's just me trying to write a story, you know? But I do think Benfica could get something there. Yeah, sorry. Stupid drivers. Yeah, so I actually am going to put Benfica to go through in that tie, which is probably going to be wrong, but there's always a shock in the Champions League group stage, in the rounds of the knockout rounds, you know? No one expected Tottenham to beat Man City all them years ago. No one thought Ajax would go all the way to semi-finals. So I'm going to put Benfica as my shock against Barcelona, I think. Yeah, Yeah, so next we've got Feyenoord versus Inter Milan. So I think you can't really look past Inter here. I know Feyenoord got a result against Man City and they've actually been okay, but I think that's just a routine win for Inter Milan. I can't see Feyenoord doing much there. I think Inter will just walk away with that one. And then finally we've got Leverkusen against Bayern Munich, which could be a really close game. I seen the last game they played against each other. Obviously it finished 0-0. So that makes you think maybe it's going to be a bit more cagey than we thought. I think last season, if you had this fixture last season, you'd have had goals, and I think Leverkusen would have won, not comfortably, but I think they would have got quite a few, you know. They beat them 3-0 at home last season. Company's now there, obviously, and I have a feeling that Leverkusen might beat them. Maybe I just want to support the underdog a bit more, but I do think Leverkusen will get a result there. I think the players they have, Wirtz, Grimaldo, Frimpong, I forget what he's called now, the striker. You have Boniface as well, yes. But I know Bayern have got very good players, like Elise is flying at the moment over in Germany. He's putting up unreal numbers as well. But Bayern just seem a bit hot and cold this season. You know, like I watched them against Barcelona and they got absolutely put to the sword. So they are vulnerable and they do play a higher line as well. And I don't necessarily like their defence. You know, I know Upamecano's meant to be this really good player, but whenever I watch Upamecano play for Bayern Munich, he reminds me a bit of like a deer in headlights. Like, he just doesn't scream composure to me. Maybe I'm watching the wrong games from him, but he's one of those players where I hear a lot about and I just don't see where the player is. It's like Kim Min-jae when he signed for them. Obviously he got exposed quite a bit last season against Real Madrid. You know, he came out of position for both goals that Madrid scored and punished them. They got punished. So yeah, I'm not convinced with Bayern. I think Leverkusen might go through there. So my final 8 predictions would be Arsenal, PSG, Real Madrid, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Benfica, Inter, and Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah, I think that makes Liverpool favourites clearly. Still, yeah, we'll see what happens. I think we'll look at it again next week, and we'll see where all the legs stand. I'm probably going to predict about 8% of these wrong. You know, Arsenal probably get beat by PSV. PSG will beat Liverpool like 4-1 or something that make me look stupid, and Inter will lose to Feyenoord 2-0 or something like that, and then I'm going to be like a right twat. But we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys for coming along. Hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you want what you want me to do, if there's anything I can improve on. Like I said, I'm just learning this, so yeah, any comments are really appreciated. Thanks for coming along.